Hold up! Hold up!
After completing the amazing World at War campaign, a little bonus feature was unveiled to the noble players of Call of Duty. And that little bonus became a revolution. COD Zombies. Today I'm going to be doing a ranking of all the Zombies maps from World at War to BO3. Now, the reason is because I've only had the opportunity to play 3 of the maps from BO4. So, welcome to the outdated Zombies ranking. Now, if you are a hardcore fan of Zombies and an expert on all the mechanics, strategies, and story beats, you're gonna hate this video. I will not be ranking these maps by an intricate criteria, but just as a casual fan who really sucks at the game, to be completely honest. I am not the Smith Plays or Tim Hansen. So that means I'll be looking at the enjoyment factor, my personal experiences, some elements of map design, some round change music even, and just general gameplay. No story or Easter eggs or any of that, mostly. I'm just not well versed enough, so you've been warned. And I'm not even gonna give you the rundown of it's my opinion, cause you already know that. So, we all good? Comfortable? Disclaimer's been made, popcorn ready, drinks ready. Let's do this. Number 21 is Transit, of course, because what the hell else would it be? The bus, denizens, lava, tombstone, the jet gun, turbines, the fog, and Der Nebel, which means the fog. One of the most unanimously hated video game things ever. Transit, while a very good-looking map, is a scatterly designed, overly huge, intentionally flawed nightmare to play on solo. Intentionally flawed? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Well, the developers intentionally included copious and tedious amounts of fog that you have to walk through for 20 minutes at a time to let the map properly load and render around you. Basically, they bit off more than they could chew with how big they wanted to make this map. And that sound, it makes me shudder. I'd say the only time someone could have fun playing this map is in at least a party of 3. I've done that, and yeah, it's a blast. But there's a lot more to say about Transit, but why go on? Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Coming in at number 20 is Dierise. Alright, so I don't have a lot of experience on Dierise. But from the several times I have played it, well, I hated the experience. Oddly enough, I don't even think it's the fact that you can fall to your death quite often, even if you're on like round 40 and you got like the sliquifier and whatnot, or the random elevator problems. It's the fact that I don't feel like there's a significant or well-known spot in the map that anybody talks about. I have no idea where I'm going most of the time because everything looks the same. Everything just looks grungy and poorly lit, except the starting room and the roof. Those are the exceptions. The jumping jacks are lame Novacrawler knockoffs, and don't even get me started on who's who. Definitely just as bad, or if not worse, than Tombstone from Transit. One of the only things I like about Dairies is the process and the reward when building the Sliquifier. One of the most OP and satisfying wonder weapons of all time. And at number 19, we got the end of the zombie storyline. I don't like Revelations. even though I know it's a fairly well done map. I mean, don't get me wrong, when I played this for the first time, I was having the time of my life, running around discovering I was walking into the Kino Theater or the dark hallways of Rucht. It was awesome. But after my brain was finished snorting a line of nostalgia and references, I lost all interest in playing it. Mostly because I felt like playing the individual maps was a much more rewarding and gratifying experience. The Apothecon area is pretty cool, and does feel new, innovative, and, well, a proper confrontation with a thing that's been looming over our characters' heads the entire time. Number 18 is Nuketown Zombies. Now, I'm pretty sure that this was the first BO2 map I ever played. It was either this or Town. Nuketown Zombies is a freaking blast, man. By no means is it one of the better maps, of course, but if you have a party of 4 or something, this is one of the better options. Something I was surprised about when revisiting was that the map is actually very nerve-wracking, because it's very small, tight, inconsistent, and in the BO2 engine, which means 2 hit downs. And since by normal standards I suck ass at zombies, yeah, this map can be pretty scary sometimes. The way I see it is this is a straight up survival and skill testing map. There's no power, no new wonder weapon, no Easter egg, and a random perk spawn machine. A fairly thoughtless game of zombies it will be. At number 17 we got my least favorite Asian map, Zetsubou no Shima. Oh, my moves. Okay, sorry. Was that racist? Yeah, probably. Now, I wasn't there in the huge crowds anticipating this map back in April of 2016, so I cannot say that this map disappointed me in any way. I find it to be an admirable map in many aspects, such as the really cool Element 115 affected wildlife, the noticeably creepy early rounds, and the skulls and shields. But man, there is way too much that I do dislike about this map that makes me land it down here at number 17. Of course, for a below average player like me, setting up makes me want to
put my finger through my eye into my brain and swirl it around.
So, I'm not gonna fault this map for the complex setup, but I will fault the map for the overly huge and confusing design. The amount of pathways, waterways, labs, underground caverns, and in my opinion badly placed perks just make me not want to play this map. The KT4 is fine, I guess. I don't think it's anything special. It works, don't get me wrong, but even with the upgrade, I don't necessarily think it's a monumental achievement, and is one of the least talked about wonder weapons. All in all, Zetsubou is not really a map I enjoy, but I realize that it is a higher caliber map than any of the ones I placed below this, and I gotta acknowledge that. At number 16 is... I don't want to say it, man. Alright, it's Dairies / the Giant. Okay, for the people who just clicked away, but for the rest of you, I stand by my decision firmly not to have Dairies in the top 10. Dairies is, to the community, widely known as the best World at War map and the most innovative map in all of Zombos. I fully agree that the introduction of teleporters and Pack-a-Punch were just revolutionary landmarks and cannot, ever in 1,000 years be overlooked. But for me, personally, this map's design is too plain and primitive and gets boring very fast. It's absolutely a subjective decision to put Dairies and its remaster The Giant this far down the list, but the replayability just isn't there pour moi. At number 15, we have 5. Man, talk about a cutscene that got you hyped. This is, for me, one of the most nostalgic maps of all time. I can remember me and my friends, or my friends and I, Mom, I said my friends and I, playing this map over and over again after school and whatnot. However, right now, if I were to describe my thoughts of this map in one word, it would have to be decent. I love the concept and the look and the feel of this map a lot. It feels like a big deal map because it's the Pentagon. And in that, I got chills playing it again after a while because the atmosphere was very heroic and effective. But on the flip side, we have the fact that under the surface, this map doesn't really have much to offer. Even though it is not a simple map by any stretch of the imagination, it didn't bring anything significant to the table besides the concept. People don't really ever talk about this map anymore. It was massively overshadowed by Moon, Kino, Call of the Dead, Ascension, and even Shangri-La. The map is also hard as hell. On solo, my best round is 9. And with a group, round 21. After they stop reviving me, but whatever. The wonder weapon, the Winter's Howl, is balls, but the Pentagon Gun Thief, I think, is a great innovation, though. If you have a pack-a-punch ray gun, say, and you see this man coming towards you to snatch it, well, let's just say drywall versus controllers. It's not exactly a fair fight. I remember, and this is true, my friend, he lost his voice while running from the thief. Oh, those were the days. At number 14, we have the map that started it all back in 2008, Nacht der Untoten. Nocturne can be brushed off as a very boring and plain map. However, this would be unfair, because it is the base for all other maps. Appearing as a remaster in Black Ops, sort of, maybe, in Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3 for Zombies Chronicles, it is the Black Ops 3 version that stands out in my mind as one of the most fun lobby maps of all time. With the Gobblegums and Wonder Fizz machine, my friends and I could spend hours doing high round attempts on this map. The only reason it is a bit lower on this list is because other maps outweigh its replayability. At number 13, we finally make it to Buried, one of my favorite map concepts and designs of all time. I won't go on forever about how beautifully rendered this map is, but I will just say that the old underground western town surrounded by trees with rays of beaming sunlight and a giant labyrinth maze. It's delicious. New features such as Leroy or Arthur make this map feel so unique compared to all the others. In fact, I would say, if you weren't camping on top of the bank with a paralyzer, this map for me is the perfect difficulty. It's a mostly chill time with intensity sprinkled through it. You are very much at the driver's wheel with this map, and I know everyone has said that, but damn if it isn't true. You are pulling the strings for almost everything that happens. Vulture Aid is definitely an amazing new perk, and the paralyzer is, well, it's broken, but still fun as hell to use. I would say the only things I don't like about this map are the tedious amounts of witches in the haunted mansion and the really boring plain-ass start room. Even if the contrast between the rest of the map is kind of an interesting little artistic decision. Number 12 is Moon, the most controversial map of all time, probably, and it's not hard to see why. First off, being on this map feels amazing. The atmosphere and vibes bring me into the future and makes it a very exciting experience. All around this map looks great. From the biodome to the surface of the moon to the pyramid area, this map is definitely a treat for the eyes, especially in Zombies Chronicles. Plus, the oh so satisfying wave guns / dual wield zap guns. It's just phenomenal wonder weapon and one of the most fun to use, especially the zap guns. I'm trigger happy with those things. However, there are reasons why this is the most controversial map of all time. And a lot of those reasons piss me off just as much as they piss off the community. The annoying ass spaceman, the Nova crawlers that really don't need to be on this map, the excessive amount of Iron Cross doors you have to open, and probably the worst of all, the need for a space helmet. Now in theory, this definitely makes sense, but as a whole, the need for a space helmet breaks the game a little bit. If you are all the way into the biodome and down, you do not have your space helmet any longer. Like, what do you do after that? If anybody can tell me, which there probably is an easy way, I just don't know it, please tell me, because I don't know what to do once you down somewhere that is like 50 miles away from a helmet. I don't know. But all that aside, Moon is definitely one of the greatest co-op maps of all time, and a party of 4, this map is a frickin' bomber. At number 11, we have Gorod Krovi, another big deal map that intimidates noobs like me. Before even playing this map, I had this weird opinion that this map was super overrated, But now that I've actually played it and studied it a little bit, I can safely say that this map is flippin' awesome. A huge chunk of the war-torn Stalingrad overrun by zombies and dragons. Well, that genius. The map looks incredible, and even though the map is huge, it's not so huge that I don't know where the hell I'm going, like in Zetsubou. There are so many things to do on this map, so many things to achieve and grind for, so many. I love that Pack-a-Punch is in a completely different part of the map, in a completely non-significant looking little house. Oh, and the Ray Gun Mark III, one of the coolest wonder weapons of all time. Seeing the Ray Gun Mark III for the very first time, it blew the back of my head clean off, sending my brain halfway across the country. That's all I'll say. Even if it isn't the most sound weapon ever, it is without a doubt one of the most fun to use. Valkyrie drones, they suck ass though. They don't really fit the rest of the elements on this map, and they are unbelievably irritating near the Dragon Port. Otherwise, that's it. Gorod Krovi is a big deal map for a reason. Starting out the top 10, we have the map. The best map of all time, according to the community. Origins. I feel like this map is a little overrated, or a lot, but I can surely see why this has been deemed Treyarch's masterpiece. First of all, the feeling of being on this map is incroyable. Even though it's just you and the zombies, I feel like the map is really busy and crowded, making for a more hectic experience. The map, of course, is beautiful. The grimy, dark, yet subtly colorful World War I setting makes this probably in the top 5 best looking maps of all time. Well, definitely is, actually. Even the round change music is grand and haunting at the same time. It's the best round change music I've ever heard. That's why I have it in the intro. The 4 elemental staves are legendary, of course, but my favorite new feature in Origins is the Element 115 robots. These robots make the map feel absolutely massive. Seeing them gradually get closer, towering over you, and hearing that iconic screeching sound is just surreal, mate. I personally don't play this map a lot, mostly because I suck ass, but also just because I think the map is utterly confusing. And that's not necessarily a problem. That's just a me problem. It's a big deal map, and I just have to get better. In fact, I don't have a problem with this map necessarily, except maybe the starting pistol, the Mauser, just doesn't have enough ammo at all, but, you know, that's just a little nitpick. Moving on to number 9. So what map beat Origins? Shino Numa, of course. I mean, like, what else, right? I feel like Shino Numa does not get enough credit, like, at all. It introduced the first legit wonder weapon, the best zombie trap ever, the first boss zombie ever in the form of hellhounds, and the first more complexly designed map. And that's the thing I love the most, the general design. The 4 areas of this map provide different ways of surviving and killing zombies, making this map feel bigger than it is. And the Wonderwolf DG2, I mean, what a legendary weapon. Even if it isn't the king anymore, this is the weapon that comes into my head every time those words wonder weapon are said. The only thing that I can't stand on this map are the deathly, and I'm talking deathly slow early rounds on this map, even slower than Nocturne and Totem. There is also a glitch in the World at War version where there's a limit on how many zombies come in on each round. I think it's like 20 or 24 or something like that, so way too easy. Thankfully, you can play BO1 and BO3. Something else happened on this map that was also pretty crazy. Well, you know, not super crazy, not huge or important or anything. It's just, you know, the 4 mains met up on this map for the very first time. Like, you see what I mean? Dairies may have invented Pack-a-Punch and teleportation, but I'd say this map is much more important, and one of my personal favorites. At number 8, we have the fan favorite map of Black Ops 3, Der Eisendrache. Truly, one of the most player-friendly maps of all time. If you suck like me, this map is a blast. If you're a veteran, unlike me, this map is even more of a blast. because you can actually complete the Easter egg and get the cool ass bows. A giant castle / Group 115 rocket station in the icy cold mountain region in the dead of night, probably the best they could have possibly done in terms of making a breathtaking location and an exciting atmosphere. This is the map you play with your friends on a Friday night till about 2 o'clock in the morning, surrounded by energy drinks and snacks. Even the round change music is very unsettling and fitting of the location. Sure, the map does borrow from Origins and Mob of the Dead and a few other maps, but you know what? I think this map is pretty much flawless either way. Number 7. Now, if there's a map that intimidates me the most, it's gotta be Mob of the Dead. Just like Origins, I've played this map probably only 10 or 15 times, but I still know that it is one of Treyarch's magnum opuses. Without a shadow of a doubt, Mob of the Dead is a masterwork of a map, and I can't really see an argument against that. The 4 new characters are, in my opinion, just as compelling as Nikolai, Takio, Tank, and Rick Toffin, and absolutely deserve to go down in COD history as such. The look of this map is an inferno nightmare, with the bodies and flaming caskets, candle rituals, cells, and hellhounds coming out of the wall that you need to feed, which is just one of the best ideas they've ever had for changing up gameplay. Afterlife is really difficult, at least for moi, but when BO2 came out, it was really fresh and absolutely a zombie staple. And what can I say about the Blundergat? It's just one of the most badass wonder weapons you can get. The Alcatraz map, which is commonly called, will pretty much be in every top 10 of this sort, and there's no doubt it's deserved. At number 6, we return to Black Ops 1 with one of the most magnificently rendered utopian maps ever, Shangri-La, a map that does not take place on Mars. Black screen. Shangri-La is one of the first maps that everyone started hating on solely because of the difficulty. Because the map is really goddamn hard. On solo, I've only gotten to 7. That's it. That's freaking it. I love it anyway. The super tight and anxiety-inducing design 100% works in its favor and has made me giddy with excitement when playing it. I just love the location so much, and it compensates for the annoying-ass monkeys, shriekers, and napalm zombies, which I actually think are perfect for this map, so ignore that. They definitely should be on this map. The 3179 JGB215, more commonly known as the baby gun, captured my imagination back then, and I remember when I got it in the box for the very first time, me and my friends, we just froze. And then I went to town, shrinking and kicking baby zombies like there was no next 30 minutes. The only thing I dislike about this map are the really confusing ass caves. Again, if I was better, there'd probably be no problems at all, but the way I see it, they could have made the different areas of the caves look more recognizable. But either way, Shangri-La lands at number 6. If this video turns out to be really long, it's because of my number 5 pick, Shadows of Evil. My favorite zombie cinematic ever introduces us to another 4 amazing original characters, Jessica, Nero, Jack, and Floyd, all sinners and murderers that are being put through hell because of their terrible misdeeds. Shadows of Evil is an entire city made into a map. Just think about that. This is my favorite looking map by far, an entire noir-esque Lovecraftian city devoted to killing zombies. Just let me take a little bite of that. I could go on for days about the way this map looks, so I'm gonna move on. Move on, and talk about what is my favorite pack-a-punch process of all time. Even though Beast Mode is a copy of Afterlife from Mob of the Dead, I've grown to love it, and the rituals that allow you to get the gate worms and then teleporting underground to see the Shadow Man and then wall running across to finally getting that sweet upgrade. Well, I can't do any of that, but nonetheless, the whole process fascinates me, and if I could get good at it, well, I'd feel like a god. I would have peaked in life. The Apothecarian Servant isn't one of my favorite wonder weapons, but objectively, it does the most damage. And yeah, it does the most freaking damage. That's all you need to know. Little Arnie's or Squid Bombs are the best tactical wonder weapons, I think, ever. And the Apothecarian Sword is also badass. In terms of bosses, the meatball things are pointless and just should not be on this map. And Margwas are probably some of the best and most scary bosses. Oh my god, this video is getting too long. I gotta move on. But Shadows is a masterpiece and pretty much tied with the rest of the maps on this list. Number 4 is the one map I refuse to play alone. Verrückt. This map makes the number 4 spot not because of nostalgia, but because this is the only map that can make me feel dark and freaked out to this day. I am 18 years old, and I still get scared when playing Verrückt. Say what you'd like about the extremely tight and enclosing design, I freaking love it. The whole atmosphere of being stuck in this dark, echoey asylum that just looms over you with haunting screams and the equally creepy exterior landscape full of fog in the World at War version and an eerie orange glow in the BO3 version is just, it's something else, man. I know people always say that this map got less scary with every remaster, but I don't think so. I think the BO3 version freaks me out the most. In terms of gameplay with friends, this map is an anxiety-inducing race to find power, full of many jump scares and screams. And on solo, there is surprisingly a lot of strategy that I've used besides the electric trap, so the map isn't completely bare bones. Both Shino Numa and Verrückt, in my mind, are the best World at War maps, even though everyone else says that it is quite the opposite. Here we go, the top 3. While in most lists, these last 3 spots would be devoted to Dairies, Mob of the Dead, and Origins, not here, ladies and gentlemen. On this list, number 3 is Ascension, the easiest map of all time. Maybe just as easy as Revelations. I played this map to death, and I still think it is great. When on this map, it feels like you've been brought into the future. I feel like this map is only slightly off balance, tipping towards the too easy side. But other than that, Ascension is one of those maps that I don't have a problem with. I even like the inclusion of the damn space monkeys. Yes, they account for 55% of my rage quits and zombies over the years, but I still think they're necessary. Riding all the lunar landers and launching the rocket to access Pack-a-Punch is just genius in my opinion, and is the best Pack-a-Punch method after Shadows. Stamina Up and PhD Flopper got introduced on this map, and I mean, come on! That's gotta count for something, right? You know, it does either way. The word training has no better home than on this map. I love Ascension, and it is the number 3 spot. Here it is, boys and girls. This next map is tied with Peter Pan movie, the Alarm Force commercial jingle, and McCain's smiley fries as the most nostalgic thing of all time, for me. Kino der Toten. Is this map higher on the list than it should be? Yes. Do I care? No. I remember back in the days of 2010, my friends at school talking non-stop about the map itself, the thunder gun, the crawlers, the ray gun, pack-a-punching, teleporting, and mystery boxes. I had no idea what they were all raving about because I couldn't play this stuff when I was younger. So this map was definitely my introduction to zombies as a whole. In my humble opinion, this is the greatest lobby map of all time. Every time I play this map with my friends, there's something magical about hearing all of us shouting all the different things we were trying to accomplish or run from or that we were discovering. There's just nothing like it. Something that blew my mind in the Black Ops 3 version is just how creepy they were able to make the map feel. Cause it was never too creepy in Black Ops 1, I gotta say. Also, another amazing thing they did in Zombies Chronicles was make new round change music to fit the style of all the remastered maps. And goddamn, the way they integrated that film reel sound into the round change music was just genius. The only problem I have with this map is that I think there might be one too many doors leading up to the stage. On solo, it seems a little tedious. There is a reason that this is the most played and one of the most iconic maps in Zombies history. I would say that the Theater of the Dead reigns supreme, if not for the number 1 spot. Call of the Dead. The amount of times I've watched this cinematic is, well, too many. For my money, this is the best put together, most awe-inspiring, and adventurous map there is. I'll get this out of the way first. The wonder weapons are not great. The BR11 would be the worst if not for the Winter's Howl and Jet Gun, and the Scavenger, I really only find it useful once you've acquired PhD Flopper and Pack-a-Punched it, but that's it. I can't find anything else on this map that wouldn't be a little nitpick because of my terrible skill level. I freaking adore the Sub-Zero-ness, that's not a word, but you know what I mean. I love the cold, wintry vibe and setting that was so well realized, and it just adds so much to the experience. The perk that was introduced on this map is Deadshot, and now Deadshot isn't the greatest perk ever, but is pretty perfect for this map. I can still hear my friends livid with anger when they kept getting Deadshot on Nocturne. It was so good, it was hilarious. Now, even though I said I wasn't going to go into story, I think this is my favorite Easter egg. And of course, I love these celebrity characters. I can't imagine anybody else. Danny Trejo, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Robert Englund, and Michael Rooker, and... wait, I'm forgetting someone. George frickin' Romero. The father of zombies himself. Rest in peace. I cannot imagine this map without this dude following you around and making the map already harder than it is. I love the challenge. And I will never say that it is an unnecessary challenge to have him following you around like other people do. Like a lot of people do. He is essential and makes this map even more unique than it already is. Call of the Dead is the map.